Well, hello everyone. Today we are coming to you from Naxos Island in Greece, which is the largest island in the Cyclades.
In this episode we'll be exploring the local islands of Naxos, Paros and Ios, which are three lesser known islands close by to Santorini. If you're planning on island hopping around the Cyclades, then stay tuned as we'll be sharing our budget tips on ferries, food, accommodation and giving you an overview of what to expect from each of the islands. So let's talk about how we get to Naxos. You've got two options. Naxos does have its own airport, however it only has direct flights from Athens and they can be quite expensive. For the majority of people, behind me is exactly what you'll see when you come to Naxos, because you'll take the ferry from nearby islands such as Santorini, which is a main one. Naxos is served by a lot of ferries daily, so there's always something coming and going to one of the islands. We got the Blue Star ferry here and the ferry was actually really nice. We enjoyed the trip. It took a couple of hours from Santorini. On board it's got a shop, it's got some bars, it's got a restaurant, plenty of places to sit, although the beer on board is €5.50 for a small bottle. Do what we did, take your own. We booked our ferries in advance via ferry hopper because sometimes they can get very busy during the summer. We're here just at the start of the summer season, so we're in the first week of May at the minute. If you're a little bit lazy, or you don't really know how long you're going to be spending on this island, then you can nip into one of the shops and book a ferry direct with somebody face to face rather than online. After you get off the ferry, there is a public bus service and there are also a number of taxis. However, if you're on a budget like us, we decided to walk because we weren't staying that far away, and also taxis are very expensive in Greece.
So we have chosen to stay at Depis Suites and Apartments, which is located in a residential area surrounded by lots of guest houses. We found Naxos to be the cheapest island for accommodation. This apartment was clean, modern and great value for money, located just a short 10-minute walk to the main harbour area and only a couple of minutes to the nearest beach.
So we're going to have a walk into the main centre area, but first we're going to show you a bakery which does some really good products, especially if you're on a budget. Your money will go far in this place and it's delicious.
So we've gone for a feta cheese pastry and we had one yesterday and they are incredible. €2, which is a great low budget, cost effective option for a breakfast. Another bakery that we can highly recommend for those on a budget is Gregory's. Now Gregory's is actually a chain, so you'll find these in other parts of Greece as well, selling pastries, sandwiches and drinks at cheap prices with outdoor seating to enjoy them in.
If you are finding this vlog useful so far, hit that like button down below because it supports us and the channel. So after you come through the old market area heading up towards the castle, you'll come through a maze of streets, almost like a labyrinth, with hidden corners and turns and also some hidden bars and restaurants. Although these bars and restaurants aren't as cheap as you'd think from being away from the main tourist area. They're about the same price as down below, with prices ranging from about €5 or €6 for a large beer up to about €20 for a main course. So backstreet isn't best in this case.
So within the castle you also find an archaeological museum which has some really interesting Greek artefacts that have been recovered, and admission is free. After visiting the museum, we came across a handmade glass shop within the maze of streets. Yalopolis create various glass designs using the art of glass blowing. The shop owner explained that each design is totally unique and one tiny piece can take up to a whole week to make. Glass pieces here start at just €3, so we couldn't think of a better souvenir to add to our collection than something so unique and handcrafted. Each piece is cleaned, securely wrapped and placed in a gift bag. In comparison, the bigger souvenir shops along the front will sometimes charge overpriced amounts for tiny ornaments without as much love or detail gone into them. So one thing that you must do when you're here is climb to the top of the hill to visit the Temple of Apollo Potara. If you get in the ferry here, it is one of the first things that you will see when you arrive into Naxos, and it's stunning during the day and especially on an evening.
The Potara is a huge marble gate which formed part of an unfinished temple and now stands as a piece of Greek history and is symbolic to the island of Naxos. When visiting the Potara, you'll also get some of the best views of Naxos from the top of the hill. Oh, and be sure to stick around or revisit to catch a sunset.
So I think it's time now to grab a coffee and something to eat. Having a coffee with a view will generally cost around €4 in the main harbour restaurants, but having a Greek coffee at this little local spot won't, with prices starting at just €2. Like their cafe, their menu is small, but it has everything that you need to enjoy a coffee with a view. We both ordered a Freddo cappuccino, which was just €2.50, and to be honest, we felt we were getting the same experience as everyone else, but paying less for it. If you visit in the evening, they sell awesome donuts here too, which we definitely had to order for research purposes.
Our next stop was for gyros at Yasouvlaki. This is a fast food restaurant offering both takeaway and dine-in service. The gyros was the best that we tried in Naxos, and a takeaway gyros here costs €3.50. If you're on a budget, you'll definitely be eating a lot of these. You'll also find that some of the restaurants have special offers and set menus to make dining out more affordable for tighter budgets. So let's talk a little bit about alcohol prices. Now, if you've been to Greece before, you'll know it's not the cheapest place to be. A beer here will range anywhere from €3.80, which is the cheapest we've found, all the way up to €7 for a large bottle. Cocktails, you can find them in happy hour. There are a couple of places that do them for €6, however the reviews are somewhat mixed about them. We haven't been, so we don't know, but these generally go in normal price from €7 all the way up to €12, and a glass of wine starts around the €3. If you're anything like us on a budget, then you'll be doing a lot of supermarket drinking.
So just to give you an idea about how much money we're saving by buying alcohol at the supermarket, for John's beer and my cider it came to €3.45, which is cheaper than the price of one beer in one of the restaurants. And you know what? We're sat by the marina having the exact same experience as the guys in the restaurant. Cheers to that. We had such a lovely few days exploring Naxos town, but the next island on our agenda was the neighbouring island of Paros. The ferry to get there took 45 minutes. We stayed at Sirocco's, which was set back from the main town just a 10-minute walk away, and was surrounded by scenic fields and mountain views. The accommodation has a lovely garden area to relax in, and it also has a swimming pool. A basement room here cost us €28 per night, which we found to be one of the cheapest on the island.
We found that Paros town was very similar to Naxos, with its harbourfront restaurants, white houses and stone-effect streets. We spent 3 nights here and felt it was more than enough time to explore. Getting around the island of Paros is easy using the public bus service. We got the bus from the town to the village of Nausa, and a return ticket cost €3.60 per person.
Nausa is a fishing village which is located on the northeast corner of Paros. It's well known for the most Instagrammable cafes and streets, which we've heard are packed out during the peak season. For the shopaholics, you'll also find some very boutique shops too, so you can shop to your heart's content.
Even the bakeries here are high end and not as budget friendly, with a coffee and a beer costing €6.50. We managed to sniff out another great spot to enjoy a gyros though, and this one set us back €3.80. Our time in Paros was up and it was time to get the ferry again. This time to the island of Ios, which took an hour and 55 minutes. After a 15-minute walk we arrived at our accommodation, which I think we got lucky with really for the price. Spacious room and bathroom, and if that wasn't enough, the balcony views were stunning.
To get to the town we had to hike up a lot of stairs, but again the amazing views made up for the thigh burn. Ios town was very similar to both Naxos and Paros, but on a smaller scale, so we'd say 2 nights here is enough. At the harbour area you'll find a selection of restaurants, and one that we can highly recommend is Enigma. The food here is delicious, and a must try is their slow cooked lamb, which was cooked perfectly.
From here you can also have a short walk to the church, which also doubles up as another incredible viewpoint. After all that, make sure you take some time to relax on one of the beautiful beaches.
That's all for this episode, but join us next time for our finale, where we'll be ending with the supermodel island of them all, Santorini. I think we're both feeling very emotional.
As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you have enjoyed this vlog, make sure you hit that like button down below and subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.